Ethan Adebayo stepped off the private jet at Murtala Muhammad International Airport, the Lagos skyline shimmering under the afternoon sun. At 32, he was no stranger to the city's chaos. But his return felt different. After years in London, wielding a name as a ruthless corporate lawyer, he was back to take over his grandfather's empire, Adebayo and Sons, one of Nigeria's most prestigious law firms. His tailored navy suit clung to him, a stark contrast to the humid air. He adjusted his cufflinks, a gift from his late grandfather, and braced himself for the weight of legacy. The firm's headquarters, a glass and steel tower in Victoria Island, buzzed with activity. Ethan's arrival was no secret. Staff whispered about the London returnee, set to shake things up. His first task was a high-stakes case, a billionaire's estate dispute involving a missing heir. But as he stepped into his corner office on the 25th floor, his mind wandered to a night 6 years ago, a fleeting encounter that still haunted him. 6 years earlier, Ethan had been at The Vantage, an upscale lounge in Lekki, celebrating his last weekend in Lagos before moving to London. The mood was light, bottles of champagne popping, his friends loud and carefree. But across the room, he noticed her, a woman alone, dressed in a sharp blazer and skirt. Her eyes red-rimmed, her expression raw. She was nursing a drink she barely touched. He approached her, drawn by something he couldn't name. "Mind if I sit?" he asked. She looked up, startled. "Do I know you?" "No, but you look like you could use a friend." He slid into the seat opposite her. Her name was Lara, and a story poured out over glasses of sweet red wine. She just caught her fiancé, Tunde, with her best friend Kemi in her own apartment. The betrayal had gutted her. "I was saving everything for him," she said, voice cracking. "My heart, my future even, you know." She laughed bitterly. "I thought it made me special." Ethan listened, offering no judgment, just quiet nods. Hours passed, and the conversation turned reckless. Lara leaned in, her eyes fierce. "Do you want it?" she asked. He froze. "Want what?" "What I saved. I'm done carrying it like a trophy for someone who didn't care." It was impulsive, messy, human. They ended up in a suite upstairs. The night a blur of shared pain and fleeting comfort. By morning she was gone. No name, no number, just the faint scent of her perfume on the pillow. Ethan left for London days later, but her face stayed with him, a ghost he couldn't shake. Present day, Ethan stood in his new office, staring at the Lagos skyline. His first board meeting was in an hour, but his assistant, Chika, had insisted he visit the staff daycare on the ground floor to connect with the team. Reluctantly, he agreed. The daycare was a riot of color and noise, kids laughing, toys scattered. Ethan smiled politely, feeling out of place. As he turned to leave, a small boy barreled into him, chasing a stray balloon. "Ooh!" the boy grunted, landing on the floor. Ethan knelt quickly. "You okay, champ?" The boy, about 5, dusted his Spider-Man shirt and glared up. "You walk like you're in an action movie." Ethan laughed, caught off guard. "Sorry about that. What's your name?" "I'm Kai," the boy said, standing tall. "My dad's abroad, but my mom's the best lawyer here." "Really?" Ethan grinned. "What's her name?" "Lara," Kai said proudly. "She's gonna win every case in this building." Ethan's smile faltered. Lara. The name hit like a jolt. Then Kai scratched his neck, his shirt shifting to reveal a birthmark. A crescent-shaped mark on his collarbone, identical to the one Ethan had carried since birth. His breath caught. "Who's your dad?" he asked, voice low. Kai shrugged. Mom says he's far away. I'm gonna find him one day and ask why he didn't bring me ice cream. Before Ethan could respond, Chica rushed over. Sir, the board's waiting. Ethan nodded, dazed, stealing one last glance at Kai, who was already chasing the balloon again. Lara. Kai. That birthmark. His mind raced as he headed to the elevator. Across town, in the sleek Ikoyi apartment, Lara Adewale sat at her dining table, reviewing case files. At 29, she was a force in the courtroom, her reputation built on grit and relentless preparation. Her son, Kai, was her anchor, 5 years old, sharp-tongued, and fearless. He'd come into her life on a stormy night, his cries louder than the thunder, his tiny shoulder bearing a crescent birthmark she couldn't explain. Lara had rebuilt herself after that night 6 years ago. The betrayal by Tunde and Kemi had shattered her, and the impulsive night with a stranger had left her pregnant. She'd faced her parents' fury, her mother's tears, and her father's silent disappointment. Her grandmother, Mama Ngozi, had been her rock, taking her in and urging her to move forward. Find him, Mama had said. He should know he's a father. But Lara had no name, no number, only a memory and a son who asked too many questions. Mom, is my dad a superhero? Kai would ask. Does he live on the moon? She'd smile and say, he's just far away, baby, but we're enough. Now, working at Adebayo and Sons, Lara was on the cusp of a senior counsel position. Her latest case, an inheritance dispute, was her ticket to proving herself. But that morning, as she dropped Kai at the daycare, he'd pouted. Mom, that girl in there keeps eating glue! Glue! I'm too smart for this place. Lara laughed, kneeling to his level. Kai, behave. No running off, no starting a revolution. I need to impress my new boss today. Is he cool? Kai asked, eyes narrowed. I don't know yet, Lara said, but I need this job, so stay put. Deal? Deal. But I want ice cream, vanilla, with sprinkles. Ethan sat through the board meeting, barely hearing the discussion. His mind was on Kai, on that birthmark, on the name Lara. Could it be her? The odds were slim, but that mark, it was too specific. He'd inherited it from his grandfather, a rare trait in their family. He needed answers. After the meeting, he headed to the legal department, scanning the nameplates. There it was, Lara Adewale, senior associate. His heart pounded as he knocked. Lara looked up from her desk, her expression shifting from focus to shock. You, she whispered, recognizing him instantly, the man from the lounge, the stranger from 6 years ago. Lara, Ethan said, stepping inside. We need to talk. She stood, her hands trembling. How are you here? You're the new CEO? He nodded, closing the door. I saw Kai. He has my birthmark. Lara's face paled. She sank into her chair, her voice barely audible. You're his father. The room spun. Ethan gripped the edge of her desk. Why didn't you tell me? I didn't know your name, she snapped, her eyes flashing. You were gone by morning. I had nothing. No number, no address, just a kid and a life to rebuild. Ethan exhaled, guilt washing over him. I looked for you. I asked at the lounge, but you left no trace. Lara laughed, a sharp, bitter sound. I was a mess that night. I wasn't thinking about leaving breadcrumbs. They stared at each other, years of unspoken questions hanging between them. Then Lara's phone buzzed, a message from the daycare. Kai's run off again, found him in the lobby. Lara groaned. That boy! She grabbed her bag. Come with me. You want answers? Start with him. In the lobby, Kai sat cross-legged, drawing on a napkin. He looked up as Lara and Ethan approached. Mom, I told you this place is boring, and you. He pointed at Ethan. You didn't tell me you're that boss. Lara knelt beside him. Kai, this is someone important. Ethan crouched, meeting Kai's gaze. Hey champ, I like your drawings. Kai squinted. You look like you know my mom. Are you from abroad? Ethan glanced at Lara, who nodded slightly. Yeah, he said softly. I've been away, but I'm here now. Kai tilted his head, studying Ethan's collarbone, where his shirt revealed a glimpse of the same crescent mark. Hey, you've got my mark. Mom, he's got my mark. Lara's eyes welled up. She pulled Kai close, whispering, Yeah, baby, he does. Ethan's throat tightened. He didn't know what came next. How to be a father, how to mend 6 lost years. But as Kai grinned up at him, clutching his napkin drawing, Ethan knew one thing: he wasn't walking away again.